Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Do you enjoy gaming in a chronological way? Then join us. We're in February playing all the games released at some point in February 1982, and we last played Ulysses and the Golden Fleece on the IBM PC. Let's press forward and see our next game. We're next going to the Coco, and this is Killerbot. Killerbot is another game that we do not have any box or artwork for, so we're just going to pop in and play. It's the some point in February 1982 game. This is released by Aardvark. Here we go. Bask in that cocoa green glow. We're running in basic. Gotta run Killbot. Killbot is another game that is based on a very old mainframe game called Escape. Instructions, yes we do. And this was also released on the Ohio Scientific Computer. And if you look up, well, have you played the Ohio Scientific Computer? You won't find anything. We're not going to play every single version of every single game on every computer because, believe it or not, there's some games that come out for 20 different computers. And so you will see every game, but just probably not every platform. All right, what do you want to play, regular or master's level? I don't know if I'm a master, but we'll say regular. How hard do you want it? I want it 4. And do I get replacements? No, you do not. Okay, we're in. I am now playing as a letter A, or M, or Y. I'm going back and forth between A, M, and Y. So we've seen this on a few other home computers. This style of game usually is a turn-based game, where you make a move, and different objects around are moving toward you after you make your turn, and you're trying to lead them into traps or destroy them while you stay alive. You can't touch walls, can't touch objects, and you obviously can't touch the enemies. You lose! Ready for another mission? Sure. We'll do regular again. Let's go 5 this time. And nope, no replacements. But this one, Killerbot is doing this all in real time. Slightly, it still feels like a turn-based game, but if I don't do anything or make any movements, nothing happens. So I'm trying to get away from the orange beings, I guess those are the Killerbots, and as I move around the screen, I'm trying to lead them into the walls to die, or myself to die. You lose! Good day, sir! Ready for another mission? Yes. We'll do regular. Yeah, I wish. Okay, how hard do you want it? 6. No. This feels very bizarre playing with the Coco controller because it takes a turn and then waits and takes a turn and waits, takes a turn and waits. I am moving in the direction I'd like to move, but it just feels a little awkward whenever we're used to seeing pretty good controls on the Coco. And for a game like this, the original one I think we've seen was on, or one of the most recent one was on the ZX81, and it was the actual turn-based. You make a movement, then everything moves toward you in that direction, then you make another movement and repeat. I think we played maybe 5 games with this variant from Escape. You lose! In case you didn't know. All right, let's just go crazy. What's 9? Do I get replacements? Sure, yeah, get replacements. Let's go. And you see, oh, one of them died, at least before I did lose. You have to enter the white line on the right side. Oh, that's how you get to the... Oh, you have to get to the cave, and then you win. Okay, so let's do another one. Regular. How hard do you want it? 4. No. Okay, so the white line is all the way on the... Oh. We already died that fast. They start you off random, so you don't know where you'll be. And 6. No. So I'm trying to make myself all the way to the right side of the... Oh, and I bumped into the wall already. You lose! How... Let's go 0 then. No. Yeah, so it's drifting... The joystick's drifting, so you don't have your hand on it before it begins, then you're out of luck. Regular, and 0, and no. That's interesting. Whenever you have less enemies on the screen, it goes a lot faster. But we've seen that before. Yeah, right? At least. All right, so let's do 0 again, and no. It's the drifting joystick is what it's doing. And 0, and no. It looks like he's guarding it now. Oh, I'm so close. Because it has the movement where you move a second and then it waits a second, then you move a second, you have to make sure you're having the joystick in the right direction to get to the other side. But there you go. There's Killerbot, a real-time version of a very old classic game. So I'd say for all the games we played at this point, it would be more enjoyable if the real-time actually had the smoother movement, because it has, you move, you wait a second, and you move, you wait a sec. So it's essentially still doing the turn-based, just doing it fast. So you still do your movement, then they move, your move, then they move. But you don't wait. They're not waiting for you to make the move. So I'd still say Killerbot is... it's difficult to say if I'd say it's a bad game, because you would get the hang of it. It'd be... oh yeah, 2 stars. So I'd still say around 2 would be, of all the games we've seen up to this point. The Coco has a lot more to offer and a lot more to see in 1982 for sure. All right, so there's 2 stars for Killerbot. And now let's press forward and see our next game. Yes, this is King Arthur's Heir for the Atari home computer. The re-release of Quest for Power. Let's take a look at the box for King Arthur's Heir. Yeah, there's a lot of giant pixels. One of the low-res modes of the Coco. All right, so this is by Epix, computer games that thinkers play. It looks like we're going to need 40K for this one, and even more than that, and I'll explain in a sec. Let's flip it over on the back. You've accomplished many great feats to earn the seat at the King Arthur's right hand, and now Arthur, King of the Britons, the King of the Who, has named you heir over the hated Mordred. But forthwith you must prove yourself worthy to hold the crown of Camelot. Arthur commands you shall go in quest of the treasured Scroll of Truth hidden by the great wizard Merlin. Your computer will display in full-color graphics the magical world of Camelot and its mystical surroundings. And look at that! Playtime says it's 30 minutes to hours of fun. Look at the screenshot they gave. It really doesn't sell the game if it's just a black and white screen with a bunch of dots. It does not do the game justice at all. But it does come with a book of lore, which we'll be checking out. I didn't know I could rotate it like that. Whoa! Crazy! But it says 10 through adult, but it says complexity is introductory because you can do everything with the Atari VCS joystick. Yes! We'll ride to Camelot! Any other artwork we have for King Arthur's Heir? We have the advertising flyer. Return the scroll and claim Camelot's crown. King Arthur has made you his heir, but gallant knight, you have to prove your worth. Defy all perils. Will there be lots of peril? Oh yes, lots of peril. And then there's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. We'll be playing on the Atari 800 by Automated Simulations. We got the manual too. This one is a remake of a game called Quest for Power that Mark Russell Benioff made, and Crystalware, I believe, was a publisher, and now they've republished it under this title with Automated Simulations, or Epix. You see a lot of people were involved with making this game. The manual I'm going to breeze through just a little bit because the game itself is huge. It's a great experience, great time for gaming if you were to pick this one up. Got some nice artwork, creepy artwork in the manual. Love it. Oh, there we go. Find and return the scroll each evening from December to December before you drift off to sleep upon your cot. Think back on all the tales you remember of Camelot. Hey, it's a song by Alan J. Lerner. And they even have a story. So if you want the lore, you could read that here. King spread out his arms, and this is telling you about what you'll be doing. Another quote from the once and future king. Very nice. And then Merlin gives you a formula, because you'll be doing magic spells, I believe, in this one too. So scrolling through the lore, we will not be reading all the lore. It is very extensive. How do you play King Arthur's Heir is what we want to know. So you have to return the scroll and claim Camelot's crown. King Arthur's made you his heir, but gallant knight, to prove your worth, you first journey forth and defy all perils. All perils. Plug in the joystick to the port, and that's how you load the game, and we got that part down. As you explore, you'll find treasures or gold pieces, certain magic objects, collect them all, and you position your figure immediately adjacent to the treasure or object. The computer will tell you what you found, so no pushing anything, you just move next to it. Objects include keys, talismans, and you collect these objects, your greater powers will increase, your chances of defeating the demons and evil forces you meet. So this game has a little sprinkle of role-playing in there. It's not heavy role-playing like the other ones we've seen, but the fact that it's controlled with a joystick is the big key. When you start the game, you have your horse, armor, and to complete your quest, you have to explore subterranean caverns, slay dragons, monsters, bargain with wizards, cross rivers, travel safely through enchanted forests. These even has boats for transportation. Your objective is to find the Scroll of Truth and return it to King Arthur. And this is a game, I would say, they're trying to be very ambitious, like other Crystalware games, and that's why Epix picked this one up. Yes, watch Monty Python on the Holy Grail for all the details. And there'll be Monty Python references while we play the game, for sure. What to avoid. In your search, you're going to find dragons. The devil. The devil is in the game. You have to fight the devil, the giant Gog Magog, the Black Wizard, and others. Now, the fighting in this one is like we played with, you saw the Quest of Power episode. Quest of Power has a very unique fighting scheme. Whenever you come across an enemy, it gives you the first choice, telling you their power and your power, and then do you want to attack them or flee? If you say attack, then it's almost like you're rolling dice. It has different displays on the screen of who's going to be hurt and what your damage will be afterwards. And when you push the red button on your VCS joystick, it just stops like a roulette wheel of what actually happens with the fighting. So it's totally random, but it is based on your power and what you picked up during the game. So it does have the role-playing side of it too, not just complete random. So you can't escape with your life if you say to run away. You can also try walking through mountains and walls. You'll hear a bang, and the game will say, ouch. You have to back up in order to continue your journey. And then how to keep track of your status. You have the red button on your Atari VCS joystick you can push, and you can go to direction mode, inventory, trade with the city, and save the game. And when it explains you how trading works, buy different things for your inventory. And then, of course, additional hints, like a classic Atari video game. This is a grand epic adventure, and it is. I'll attest to it. This is one of the very impressive games you could play in 1982. You'll visit wondrous towns and cities: Essex, Leeds, Hillsborough by the Sea, Sunderland, and Canterbury. You may wish to ask for directions from the friendly wizard living atop the Eaglestone Mountain. However, watch out for the giant lurking in the evil Black Forest, the demon guarding the foreboding Skinfrith Castle, and the carnivorous dragons near the dark caves of Somerset. So this is the kind of role-playing game that you can't go to certain places or you will die because the enemies are too difficult. Good luck on your quest. You'll need it to find and return the Scroll of Truth to King Arthur. And that is it. I love it when we get the manual. And this one is very difficult to load. I'm going to have to do a few tricky things because this one uses revision A of BASIC for the Atari home computer, which is very buggy. And for all the other emulators I've had to work with, I couldn't get this to work, but now I have, but it takes a lot of finagling with. So here we go. It's time to play King Arthur's Heir, released at some point in February 1982. Now, the release we played on Quest of Power had, I believe, the most bugs. We didn't play it as far, but they've polished a lot of things up. It still plays with the Atari VCS joystick. It still has the top-down style, but this would be the more complete game. So if you played Quest of Power and you thought, oh, it's a little messed up or has problems, this is like the final product. It's like Quest of Power version 0.2. King Arthur's Heir. Way to go, Mark. Got the scroll for the castle and a very long and impressive intro. I just picture people playing trumpets right now. All right, we want a new game. Let's go. We're ready to play King Arthur's Heir. Does it feel like loading in 1982 yet? One of the things that I love about this game is this plays from a top-down view, but there's also scrolling. So here we go. We're in the game. I am the cursor over on the left side. They've added a few graphic features compared to Quest of Power, but you can see I can move in 8 different directions with the Atari VCS joystick. There's my tiny little character, and if I want to go to Camelot, I go over here to the left. Let's go to Camelot! You may not return to Camelot without the Scroll of Truth. On second thought, let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place. You move yourself around the world. And from here, can I push the red button? Yeah, when you push the red button on the VCS, you have direction mode, inventory, trade with the city, and then save your game. So if I just go to direction mode, I'm here moving around. And let's see, I can pick up something here. Ooh, I found 74 gold pieces. Very nice. There's another treasure here. 137 gold pieces. Very nice. So this feels like a typical game from 1982 until I do this. Until I start moving away, look what happens. This game scrolls, and the world obviously automatically becomes bigger, larger. It even scrolls diagonally. in different directions. Now, Quest of Power did this, but King Arthur's Heir is doing it better. So we're just going to make our way across the Thames here, following the river, looking for any more treasures. Looks like we got another one right there. Got 21 gold pieces, very nice. And so this is the kind of world you get to explore in King Arthur's Heir. A top-down action role-playing game. And 105 gold pieces. Now we have our first enemy. So I'm going to close it on and let's see who they are. It says Gog Magog hit us with 15 hit points. Yikes. Do you want to attack or flee? It said they weren't super strong, so let's try attack. You did not get away. They get a free shot. Push the red button to attack. And now watch how the screen is just automatically rolling of how much we lose and how much they lose. So you just push the button and determine what happens. Ready, and go. Darn, so Gog Magog has killed us. We obviously shouldn't have fought them yet. But we can push start and regenerate, and the game then begins wherever you last loaded, or whenever you last saved, and you have all the equipment you had before. So it's very ingenious. It's one of those games, of course, on computer, you save as much as you can, so you can take over where you left off. But it makes it really easy to begin again in the place you were before. And the whole idea is you're going to find the object that you need to, then come back to Camelot. And as you progress around the world, you get to buy weapons, armor, and so forth, and then find also items that'll help you along your way. Let's see, if we go to inventory, we got only 5 gold pieces, so we lost all our money. But our power's 100, and it's also doing a day and night cycle. We're on day 3. I don't know about night cycle. It's more of a day cycle at this point. Not too many games you could boast have a day and night cycle. So we're going to make our way around. Didn't see any chests this time to pick up. But every single object you can move across or check it out. And it automatically does it for you. No need to push anything. Oh, there's a chest. Let's see if we can get it before Gog Magog kills us. 139 gold pieces. Run! Go, go, go! Now that I know he'll kill me, I'm going to run away until I can go to a town that'll give me something. So you can see that's the Black Forest that we were in where Gog Magog killed us. And we're making our way around the river here. Uh-oh. Another one's close. Oh, we went to the edge of the screen. So now it's going to load another area. Very similar graphics and style to other games by Crystalware like Fantasyland 2041. So here we go, new area. There's another enemy up there. I don't know what that is. Let's see who it is. Black Wizard. Oh, gosh. Black Wizard has 17 hit points. No. Let's flee. You got away. Good. And then whenever you run, it loads a whole new area as if you ran away to a completely new place. Oh, we got away and we're back at the beginning? Okay. I didn't think they were going to warp us all the way to the beginning again. The game reminds me a lot of other role-playing games we have checked out on the channel, and only a few of them allow you to use a joystick like this to turn it into an action role-playing game. 140 gold pieces. Let's go. Nice. And the exploration of this game is what really sets it apart, and the way you build your character up, and they make everything very simple. The only few games I could think of that do better than this is like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves on the Atari 800. That was even bigger, more expansive, had a lot more involved, but you can see how you can move around and explore an entire world. Oh, Black Forest, not good. While also getting a role-playing experience. So there you go. That is King Arthur's Heir for the Atari home computer. Of all the games we played at this point, it is excellent. Definitely above average. We're going 4 stars for King Arthur's Heir. I wouldn't say it's one of the best games you can play because we've seen better ones that have even more involved in them, and also because of the bugginess. If you play this long enough, you'll see running on basic revision A. It is a little scary. Oh, chiptune, nice. 4.5, yeah. Yeah, it is excellent. Very good. And it also gives me vibes of Legend of Zelda, you know, the top-down, moving yourself around, or even Dragon Quest, but there's no turn-based battles. It's you can actually see the enemies on the screen. Okay, so with that, let's press forward and see our next game. We're back on the TRS-80 Coco, and this is Labyrinth. Not the movie. I don't think it's out yet. Or maybe it comes out this year. Let's take a look at Labyrinth. There's no artwork we have, just a few screenshots, but we do have the manual, if you want to call it that. It's a little leaflet inside. The TRS-80 color. The object of the game is to not get through the maze, but to hunt down the 9 hungry monsters and shoot them before they get a chance to shoot you. They're pretty sneaky, so watch out. To load, type in... Okay, we know how to load. How do you play? Turn left, turn right, move ahead, turn around, show the map. Is M... Aim left and right when shooting. Wait, it's a first-person shooter on the Coco? Or it's a little loose to call it a first-person shooter. A few notes before you start. The numbers at the top of the screen show how many seconds you are taking to track down and kill the monsters. The number on the bottom right-hand side is telling you how many squares you are away from the monster. The number on the left-hand side and bottom tells you how many monsters there are left. The arrow points to which way the monster is hiding. Also, remember to kill the monster, you must shoot him right between the eyes. Happy hunting. Does it have an example? Okay, it's just a picture, but not a screenshot of what it looks like. All right, and with that, let's bask in that green glow of the Coco. This is sometime in February 1982. Oh, yeah, good shout out with East. Yeah, it does have that feeling because you're bumping into an enemy, right? All right, Labyrinth. Another one on basic. Don't know what kind of speeds we'll get. Usually basic, we don't have as high a frame rate as we do if it's machine language. Let's see. You've entered the Labyrinth to battle the Iron Monsters. They can be shot only between the eyes. The keys are, and there we go again, show the map is M. Left and right, 1 is shoot. Okay, what difficulty do we want? Let's start with 1 and see what happens. Please wait. I am looking for the door to the Labyrinth. We don't wait around here. Fast forward. There we go, and we're in. Okay, so number at the top of the screen is how many seconds away? I have to refer back to the manual again. Number at the top of the screen, how many seconds you are taking to track down and kill the monster. Okay, so they time you. Number at the bottom right-hand side is telling you how many squares you are away from the monster, and then the left and bottom says how many monsters are left in the game. Got it. Everybody got it? Okay, let's go. I'm getting 3D monster maze vibes, but the way you move forward is not as smooth. Oh, we got an arrow now. It's telling us where to go. Where the monster is. Let's see, we'll keep going down this long hallway. 1982 is the beginning of let's have as many games 3D as possible. But this idea of having a maze from a 3D perspective, we're going to keep seeing this all throughout the 80s. All right, there we go. He's on the side. Let's turn this corner. And, okay, he's here. Let's get him. Let's get the monster. Oh, nope, he's not here. Let's go back to the map. Refer to the map. Oh my gosh, the map is huge. That is monstrous. Do I have to hold M down or they just flash it? Okay, I do hold it down. All right, so that's where we are. If it was pointing, he actually could be on the other side, but wow. This is giant. You could spend hours in this maze. It's so big. Good gosh. Okay. And they're counting down how many seconds we've been playing. I think this one's the dead end, right? Yeah, this one loops around. Okay, we'll go down the hallway on the right side. So we've seen a few games where they build the map for you. You can see the maze from the top-down view like we did on hitting M on the keyboard. And then as you go in the maze, you have to work your way through it. This one is nice to give you the luxury of, you know, here's the maze again. Because a few of them we've seen, they generate the maze and they only show you it for a brief second and then you got to figure it out. But there's no attacking or anything that's coming after you. That's why 3D Monster Maze was so good on the ZX81. And so for this one, I would say slower paced, but it's massive. I know there's 9 enemies here in the maze with us, but gosh, it's so large. You'd be in here a long time. I'm not even sure if our quick play session is going to even get into where the monster is. All right, let's see. It still looks like it's going to be around this side. So if the monster is there, it must be around this corner. Let's see. We might get to one, but it's just, I can't believe how large the maze is. Back in the day when you played 3D mazes, how long would you have spent walking through a 3-dimensional maze? The fascination is this viewpoint. You're seeing the game as if you were here inside the maze. We've even seen I believe only one other game that does it from Pac-Man, or maybe I'm thinking ahead, like we're going to be seeing it soon. All right, so let's try down the hallway here. Oh, they kind of look like ghosts like Pac-Man, right? All right, let's try this. Okay, oh, we got one. We got a live one. Get in between the eyes. Yes! Oh, and they even give us a fanfare. Nice. There you go. Cool. Now, I would say of the 3D Mazes games we've seen like that, the best one so far has been 3D Monster Maze on the ZX81. Labyrinth, though, having the ability to shoot or attack something is a great idea. So for the games we've seen up to this point, I'd still say it's above average. And that viewpoint, something is up with that perspective. It's really cool. We need to make more games that take place from that view. So I'm going to say 3.5 stars. The slowing down, running in basic, probably not just because of basic, but how slow it is to move around the maze kind of gets lower points, and because the brief size of it. Maybe if we do a harder difficulty, you get more monsters, you have some more action as you move through, but it's massive. It's amazing. Oh yeah, no connection or influence, not that I'm aware of. All right, and now let's see where we're going and what happens with the world of video games. Hey, speaking of the ZX81, this is Little Brickout, or the Timex Sinclair 1000, whatever your flavor. This one we have no box, just a few screenshots. The only other version is an alternate version. This is by Krzysztof Zworski. Way to go, Krzysztof. It's sometime in February 1982. Little Brickout. Now, bear in mind, we're playing on the ZX81, so the keyboard looks like this. And there is no joystick. So I'll be using keys 6 and 7 to control the bat movement. I got 5 balls, and then what version do we want? One ball keeps one time bouncing. Let's keep the ball bouncing, and we need 6 and 7. So I'm looking at the keys. This is what we'll be pushing down. Let's try level 3 and see what that's like. Oh, it's the old school side view breakout variant. The one that was originally proposed by Wozniak. And this is actually the way that you played it for the Apple II whenever he made it for to showcase the Apple II. Now, the paddle's moving the same speed as everything else. We've obviously played lots of ball and paddle games, but I do want to try to increase the difficulty to see if it increases the frame rate. So I backed out. I'm going to go back in again. It is a classic ball and paddle game, a really good one for the ZX81. All right, so let's do ball keeps bouncing, and let's do 9. Let's go crazy. All right, 6 and 7. Here we go. Oh my gosh, no. Let's say no. Oh man, that was way too fast. Okay, so 9 does go very quickly, but it's too fast you can't even play it. That was like we overclocked our PC to play that. Okay, so let's do ball keeps bouncing, and let's do level, I don't know, let's try 7. Let's see how that is. There we go. See, look at this. Not bad for 50 hertz. I mean, come on, look at that. That's pretty good for a ZX81. For a system you paid, if you had the Sinclair 1000, you played $100 for it. That's pretty cool. So for a breakout clone, of all the breakout clones we played, obviously the best ones are played on the paddle. So playing it on your little membrane keyboard, not ideal. You're going to get better control whenever you play on something else. So I wouldn't say it's almost borderline bad because of the control. And considering the other games we played, I'll still say 2 stars, but for games you played on the ZX81, it could definitely be more or better than that. It's also depending on how much you want to play a breakout clone on your system. I would say no. I've always felt more comfortable playing the paddle at the bottom, moving left and right, but that's probably because I played that first. Whenever you play on the side, it feels a little off because majority of the games that play breakout that way, they don't have up and down, moving the joystick up and down. You have to usually do left and right, which feels a little weird. And it's always better with the paddle control. And the paddle control spinning left and right just feels better at the bottom. That's how it was in the arcades too. All right, there, your Little Brickout is trying as hard as it can to be a breakout clone. A little bit, yeah. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're staying in Europe. And this is Monkeyshines for the Philips Videopac. We've already checked it out for the Odyssey 2, the North American version. And here we go. This is the European version of Monkeyshines. Several different regions that you can see. They changed the box art up to look like actual monkeys that we're taming. But I don't think that's the whole idea of the game. But still, very pleasant box art. Philips Videopac looks pretty good. This is cart number 37. And there is our cartridge that we pop it into our Philips Videopac. Gotta have the handle on top. I know there is. We haven't seen one yet, but we might find one that has the paddle on top. Now, for the first time for the Philips Videopac, we have an actual scanned manual that I was able to track down for Monkeyshines. This one is in different languages. You can see they break it down into English, German, French, Dutch, and Italian, and Danish, and Swedish, and, oh man, I don't even know. We got Spanish, Portuguese, and English. Unlimited variations, just like we saw on the Odyssey 2. You find yourself in a large monkey cage with your partner when the game starts. The 4 monkeys are swinging playfully from the ceiling. They will soon move through the entire cage, however, cleverly using pattern of monkey bars. Every time you reset and 0 on the numeric keyboard, you get a different pattern of bars. And this game has different modes of play. If you checked out the Monkeyshines for the Odyssey 2 that we saw, you can have 3 people play. 2 people have the 2 controllers controlling the men on the screen, but then the third person can use the keyboard on the Philips Videopac and actually change the landscape of the screen. Way ahead of its time. Really cool. All right, so starting a new game will automatically, when both players have been caught by the red monkey. You can also play alone and just ignore the other player, which is kind of weird. You just play a 2-player game, but just leave the other player there and don't even touch him. And here's the different types of games. How do you rotate the monkey bars? And the game modes are called Shut Eye, Monkey Chess, and Bananas. And all that means is whenever you play with 2 people, you're just trying to tag the most monkeys to get the most points. If you play with 3 people or Monkey Chess, then you have someone that is controlling the monkey bars and changing them on the screen. But Bananas allows you to like make the monkey bars invisible and rotate them around. It just makes it crazy. So you can play a crazy game and then play Bananas. And it explains here how to add lines or monkey bars on your screen. And here's some screenshots. No, not really screenshots. Reproduce screenshots of the monkeys. Player control on the left and the right. How you start the game, and then how do you jump on the monkey bars. Which jumping is so new. This was, for all accounts, the very first game we ever saw that was a jumping platformer on a console that you could play at home. Because right before this was Donkey Kong in the arcades. This was the first one ever you could do at home. And explaining how the joystick works, this is using the Videopac joystick, which has 8-way movement, but it's still very cumbersome. You got to give it credit, though. The first jumping platform game, I mean, how picky can you be? Tagged monkey jumps in the direction is held. Highest scores over here on the left side, and you can remove monkey bars when you press 1 and E on the keyboard. So if you're pushing that, you can see you follow the monkey rows and then the columns by numbers, and you put that coordinate in and it removes monkey bars or changes monkey bars on the screen. And that's all we have for the English version of the manual. Everything else is in other languages. Here we go. Let's pop in Monkeyshines, another one by Ed Averitt for the Philips Videopac home computer, released at some point in February 1982. All right, we're here. On the Europe system, we still pull up the keyboard and we just push 0. And then we're in. So I'm plugged in with the left controller. I'll plug in the second controller too. And see, I move around as my character, which looks like all the other characters Ed Averitt made on the Odyssey. But here on the Philips Videopac, it's the same idea, same controls. When you want to jump, you have to move the joystick at an angle, and it's the most dedicated jump you'll ever do. Whenever you make this jump at a diagonal angle, you have to wait until you come all the way back down. So right here, if I just hold up on the joystick, I'm going to go up and then come right back down again. And if I do it at an angle, he'll jump at that angle and then come right back down. It is the very first time you could ever jump at home on a console. So it's very, very rough. But the idea is you just go tagging monkeys. Come on, get him. Oh, I missed that guy. Let's go to this side and see if I can get him. Got him. And then when they turn red, you need to run away. Oh, no, I get an extra point for it. Oh, yeah, okay, so I got a point, but I'm now frozen. My player is locked in place. I think there's a timer until I can go. And whenever you're, yeah, you stay frozen the entire time. So you can see one player is frozen, but I can take the second player, and they can move themselves all around, jumping. Now the third player, though, can take over. So now if I was using the keyboard, I could say, let's do 1E, and then it changes the board. You end up making lines across the. Oh, that's right. You have to do 1E and then where you want it on that quadrant. Like if you want it up, down, left, or left and right, and then you can actually change the board itself, which is a really innovative idea. Really cool. So Monkeyshines is one of those games that is really fun to play when you have more than one person, because you're scrambling to learn the controls, how to jump around the screen. You see monkeys are going around the player one. And while you're playing, getting the points racked up, a third person could even be playing too and changing things up. All right, so that was Monkeyshines for the Philips Videopac. Just like it was for the Odyssey 2, an exceptional game that you could play at home. I'm not going to go as high as we did last year. For this year, I'm going to say 4 stars for Monkeyshines. A great title still. And for something you play in Europe, it's a blast. All right, and with that, let's press forward and see our next game. We're just going back and forth. Now we're back on the TRS-80 color computer, and this is Moonlander. Let's take a look at Moonlander, starting with the advertisement flyer. By Tom Mix Software. There it is, Moonlander. Only 16 bucks. This one's a real winner. 2 programs for the price of 1. Train on Moonlander and then move to Lander 2. Oh, okay, this must have been the later one, because I think Lander 2 came out a little bit later. You need 16K, extended basic. Visit the moon with your color computer. Most realistic on the market today. Take that with a grain of salt. All right, let's pop it and play some Moonlander at some point in February 1982. Let's see how the Coco does Moonlander. All right, here we go. Yes, we will see Dancing Devil. I can't remember off the top of my head when it is released, but it's coming out soon. All right, we're fast forwarding through here. Nice, a ditty on the Coco. Usually we don't get that. It's all silent. Lunar Lander by Greg Zumwalt. Way to go, Greg. So instructions, yes, how do we play this? You're the pilot of the Lunar Lander. You control the craft by using the right joystick. Okay, we got it. Object of the game is to land the craft on a level ground at a vertical speed of less than negative 1.5 feet per second. However, it's not very easy. No, it's not. In outer space, there are random meteors that will explode your craft if you get too close. The meteors are the moving points of light. The stars are the stationary points of light and are harmless. Okay? To make things worse, you have a limited amount of fuel to land with. When your fuel gets low, a low fuel alarm will sound and inform you of the impending danger. When the alarm stops, you're out of fuel and the rest will be history. Finally, do not attempt to land on the mountains. Your engines are not tip-proof, so any attempt to do so will result in an explosion. Press any key to start the game, and good luck. Okay, we're in. Now, those are the mountains. Am I supposed to avoid the mountains? What happens if I fly to the top of the screen? Oh, I guess touching the edges blows you up. I thought I was going to fly to another moon instead of going to the mountains. We're just dying faster and faster here on Chronologically Gaming. Let's see. Yes, we hit the edge of the galaxy. All right, so we'll hit fire. And start again. Okay, well, that means we can't go to the other edge. So where do I land? I'm used to playing Lunar Lander games. I was holding the button down while I was talking. I'm used to playing Lunar Lander games, and they show you the platforms, but I don't see any platforms to land on. But once again, the basic program is very, very slow, considering the other games we've seen up to this point. All right, we're making our way down now. Does the fire button give me some thrusters? We're coming in too fast. Pull up. Too fast. I guess the flat part in between the two mountains is the only place you can land. since we've seen this in the arcades, they give you point values of allowing you or showing you where you can land, but this one does none of that. Oh, it says, what was our velocity? Oh, yeah, we're coming in way too fast. All right, let's see if we can slow it down a little bit. But notice how it blinks. Every time it blinks, you're having to wait a second for the game to respond. So, again, with the Coco controller or joystick, it should be responding much better or be a little easier, but no, it is very difficult. There we go. Slow it down. Nice and easy. That's it. Slower. Come on. Nope. Get away from the mountain. Oh, we touched 1 pixel of the mountain. Yeah, if it's the only place, they don't advertise it to you. They don't have the point value over that flat bit of land. It looks like that's the only one you could land on. We've already played, I'm guessing, 20 different Lunar Lander games on the channel so far. This is the worst one of all the Lunar Lander games we've ever played. And we've even played ones that have this kind of frame rate, but they actually give you something, like they're controlled with the keyboard, so it actually works a little bit better. Slower! What? Wait, I exploded before I exploded before I even got to the bottom. Yes, oh yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see lots of better ones too. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, L. Curtis B. Alright, there we go. That is, for the Coco, Moonlander. Oh man, I want to say bad of all the games we've seen. You could get used to it, but it's that frame rate slowing down, and the control just doesn't have the mastery that we've seen with other Lunar Lander variants. It's essentially a flight simulation, sort of, or a vehicle simulation game, and it's down there in the bad range. I'll say 1.5 stars. Oh, actually, it's close to broken. I could go 1. No, I could see some value too. I'll say 1.5. So it's not completely broken yet, but it's close. It's really close. All right, that was Lunar. I almost said Lunar Lander. That was Moonlander. Let's press forward and see our next game. All right, this is Snack Attack 2 for the MS-DOS. If you missed Snack Attack, we saw it on the Apple, and here we go. This is the IBM version of Snack Attack 2. I don't believe this is anywhere else. The only place you can get Snack Attack, the sequel, is on the IBM PC. Let's take a look at the box for Snack Attack 2. So good, it must be fattening. This is by Funtastic. $38.95 for the IBM PC. And we flip it over on the back. 6 levels of play, 3 different mazes, full color. Now, it's the same Pac-Man variant, so they're going to do that here. It uses joystick or keyboard. Nice for the IBM. Very rare to happen, but oh my gosh, look at that. 64K memory needed for Snack Attack 2. And the disk drive. Wow. The only other game we've seen with that much memory was Microsoft Decathlon. So this is another game that needs 64K of memory. Yikes. Let's see what other artwork we have for Snack Attack 2. Nothing else. There's the example of the screenshot. Here we go. It is sometime in February 1982. We got Snack Attack 2 by Funtastic. Yes. One of the first arcade that actually looks like an arcade game. Notice how it's going through an attract mode, and it's playing the attract mode. I'm not doing anything. For the IBM PC. And very fitting that we're playing a Pac-Man variant. All right, so let's go. Loads very the same. There we are. We're playing as, I believe the name is Snacky the Whale. As we move around, at least that's what it said for the first Snack Attack. We didn't get a manual for this one, so we'll make it up if we need to. Of all the games we played on the IBM PC, this is one of the best. I would still say Decathlon has the nudge just because of how impressive it is. But for an arcade title, this is pretty good for the IBM PC. And to put in perspective, we're playing on an 8088, running at about 4.77 megahertz. And I did try to crank this up to a 386. And when I put the 386 in, the game was running too fast. So this is, I guess, we're running between 1980 and 82 for the technology. So if it looks like it's running a little bit slow, I was trying to tweak to find what would be the ideal way to play this, or what speeds you would need to play it on. because we're still playing video games based on how fast the processor is going to... Oh, nope, can't do that one. Let's make our way up here. Oh, he's going to head us off. Let's see if we can go this way. Not doing a lot in the sound department. It actually reminds me of the game we played on Apple II. So it's essentially Snack Attack 2 really isn't the sequel. It's more of, this is Snack Attack for the IBM PC. Okay, let's see if we can make it. Go, go, go. Yeah, I could try the 8086, but whenever I tried anything faster, it was too fast. It was already going too quick. So this is a really good time for 1982. For people at an IBM PC and want to play an arcade game, this would be ideal. And I would say around average for the games we played, maybe even a smidge above. Because the Pac-Man style, different mazes to play, is great. And the game works very, very well. Oh, there we go. The other gameplay footage I've seen of Snack Attack 2 was running about this speed anyway. So this might be what you were supposed to play it on in 1982. Oh, he's coming out. Nope. Go, go, go. Don't block me in. That's pretty cool, the way the shrapnel came out whenever you died. When we played this on the Apple II, it was a little bit more impressive, but you can kind of see the power of the IBM PC. But people really haven't harnessed and got to how well this can work for a gaming system. Because this was being used, obviously, for business for the most part. Oh, they got me. Because you can go through some of these doors. Let's see, does this one work? No, this one's closed. So you have open doors that you can pass through on the left sides. That'll let us through. Oh, why can't it go to the... It is stuck on the side. I don't know why. All right, there you go. That's Snack Attack 2. A great time for 1982. Definitely average from everything we've seen up to this point. Because of the theme and style, the maze craze, I'm going to go 3.5 stars. Lots of fun for Snack Attack 2. Not something the best you could play. Not incredibly exceptional, but definitely above average. Especially for the IBM. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the arcade. This is the latest release by Atari. We're talking about Space Duel. It's time. Let's take a look at the artwork for Space Duel, starting with the advertisement flyer. Oh man, Atari is still in the game. Check out that artwork. They got the arcade cabinet and explanation that you're playing the newest, coolest space game in the arcades by Atari. That's what this looks like. Flip it over on the back end. Wow, they got lots of info for us. Totally new challenge that offers a choice of 4 different exciting game modes. 1 player can pilot a single fighter or single-handedly maneuver a space station. 2 players can control separate fighters in a competitive game or can cooperatively control a space station. Any of these game players must dodge saucers, space mines, stars, and destroy 7 different targets. New objects appear in waves of 1, 2, 4, and every third wave they're all seen. So, as usual, the advertisement flyers are now giving us a lot more information about what the game is and how to play it. So they break down what space stations look like, fighters look like. Yeah, this is a really detailed advertisement flyer. Where to go, Atari? 2 different arcade cabinets are shown at the very bottom, the cocktail and upright. And then we have the new 4-speaker sound. So this is another arcade game. I cannot do it justice. If you can play this in the arcades, it is great. I played this one and it sounds fantastic. So while the sound won't be as impressive, I'll try to raise the volume if I can, but there's no way with a 4-speaker sound how this one sounded compared to other arcade cabinets that were in the arcades at the time. So there's an example of the arcade cabinet. Beautiful, slightly wider presentation. You can see when we boot it up, it's playing on a larger screen. And then another example of the arcade cabinet. Let's flip it around. Artwork on either side is so cool. There's our PCB and the control panel. This one has the same controls as Asteroids. It's almost like a sequel to Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe. I don't know if it's official or not, This is the next part, if you want to call it an Asteroids trilogy. So you rotate left and right with buttons, thruster is a button, and fire is a button, and then you have your shields, just like an Asteroids Deluxe. There's our arcade marquee for Space Duel. I'd love to know if it's official, because it's pretty much Asteroids, the next iteration of Asteroids. Just way better. And we got the manual too. The Atari manual of Space Duel. Official Atari manual. The first part of the manual breaks down the arcade cabinet, how to assemble it, where all the parts and pieces are. Is that 3 different? No, it's 2 different ones. Okay, so only upright or cocktail. All right, so does it say anything here? Oh, this is interesting too. Because of the competition right now, Atari will aggressively enforce its copyright against any infringers. We will use all legal means to immediately halt any manufacture, distribution, or operation of a copy of video game made to us. Anyone who purchases such copy risks forfeiting such a game. Atari is ready to fight. Oh, I don't know, maybe. Interference. Make sure all the cables are connected. Got it. All the Atari parts. One thing that Atari does that I want to see, we'll breeze past the table of contents and list illustrations and tables where the different regions are going to be put up this cabinet. The new features. Space Duel has 3 new features. Even if you're familiar with Atari games, you should note these important things. First is gameplay. Players can choose 4 different game versions. A single player may play fighters or space stations. 2 players playing at the same time may play fighters or space stations, and they can compete against each other or play with each other. So it's competitive and cooperative. There's 18 different waves offering a variety of targets. The game cabinet is different. It's a dual upright cabinet, no wider than any other Atari game cabinet. It has wide enough space for 2 players to play side by side. The cabinet has 4 speakers, which provide exceptional audio. So I was incorrect then. Maybe the screen is the same screen we've seen. They just made the cabinet. Or maybe the screen's the same, but the cabinet's a little wider. And then there's also the vertical mounted coin door, so you can get the money out easier. All right, so how do we play this? Let's go by all the instructions, all the parts. Got it. Installation and switch locations, where all the diff switches are. Self-test procedures. You think it's all technical, but then you get to the game. Gameplay. 1 or 2 player game with color XY video display. This is a color vector-based graphics game. 3 color guns, high voltage, same technology used in previous Atari black and white vector-based graphics games. They call them XY, but we know they're vector-based. Space Duel offers a choice of 4 different game versions. 1 player can control a fighter or a space station. 2 players playing at the same time can control fighters or a space station. And you have to offer 12 different targets that split up. Lots of cool stuff here with demonstration mode. I believe this is pretty much all we need to read, because once we get in the game, you'll see how it works. We'll skip at the attract mode and all the different modes it has. It's time to go to the arcades and play the newest Atari game at some point in February 1982. This is Space Duel. The Space Duel. And for this one, I want to make sure we are loud, cranking it up so you can hear this game in all its impressive glory. They spelled Space Duel with blocks. That's great. So color vector-based graphics, another thing we really can't recreate to show how good it is. This game is, when you see this in the arcades, there's something different that Atari's doing with the color vector-based graphics compared to other games at the time. It is really impressive. It is vibrant. It glows. It has a stronger halo than the other ones. I don't know if they have an overlay that they did on this, but it's high quality for sure. All right, so let's put some coins in. If I put 1 coin in, it now goes to a game select screen, and then you push the select button. If you're playing a 1-player game, you have playing by yourself or being tethered. So if you play the normal game, you'll see what this looks like. Looks familiar, right? It's like super kaleidoscope color blasting asteroids. Control is spot on, beautiful. After playing games with 50 hertz frame rate or running basic programs on the Coco, this feels like I'm playing something from the future right now. And then we have, where's my shield? There it is. Just want to make sure it works. So this game mode that I picked would be for the person who wanted to play something that feels just like Asteroids. Because we're pretty much doing the same thing. It's the next iteration. What's bizarre, though, is they don't call it Asteroids. Asteroids 2, or the sequel, they called Asteroids Deluxe, but this is Space Duel. Oh, yes, now we got the cool wireframe 3D graphic images. Okay, now show of hands. Considering this to Zaxxon that we saw earlier in Japan, would you consider this game more the wave of the future, or Zaxxon the wave of the future? Zaxxon's still using raster-based graphics, but because of the perspective and the way that they designed the game, it looks three-dimensional. Alright, I'm just going to die and move on to another game mode, because this isn't the big part. This feels like we're pretty much playing Asteroids, but you get the idea. Things break into other pieces, and you move on. Let's see if we just fly really fast and crash. Boom! And the shrapnel flies. Oh, isn't that nice? The game over, you get fireworks. Okay, so we use the buttons to go across. Is it nice? Oh, it makes it really easy to do your initials, too. Because you're not using a paddle control, you just use the buttons. Sweet! Chrono's on the board. Yes, I would love if they did that. Man, it's like this year is another really good console that we're going to see. The Vectrex is coming out. I'm really excited for that one. All right, let's put some more coins in. Now, if I put another coin in for a two-player game, now whenever we select the game, we have an option to do, again, one player. We have the one player where you're controlling two ships at the same time, which I'll just show you that one. This is pretty cool, too. Look at this. This is double shot, and you're tethered to another ship. So one ship is doing the thrusting. But you have double the firepower. And it incorporates some physics that's really cool. It's so fun to control, and I want to see what happens if one of us dies. Does that mean the other one's out of luck? Because only one's doing the thrusting. This feels cool, like you're playing Galaga, when you get the two ships and you have the double firepower, but on a different scale, the way you're tethered together. Alright, let's see if someone dies. Uh-oh, nope. Nice, we can keep going. Oh, maybe if green gets shot, you can keep going. Okay, so move on to the bonus mode. But if you both blow up, then that's it. You're done. Oh yeah, very good point. Now, are you talking about the Vectrex or the arcade cabinets? Because I know they needed lots of repairs in the arcade. I'm not sure if the Vectrex needed that. There's plenty of consoles that are still working now. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna blow myself up so you can see. So this is a cool game mode because it looks like... Oh, nice. So the red ship is the leader, it looks like. So if the red ship blows up, then the green one does. But if the green gets hit, then you can just keep going. So much fun. We get a fantastic game over screen. Love it. Oh, nice. All right, I'm just going to breeze by this. Let's put some more coins in. And now, let's go to 2 players. Now, this one would be easier to play if I had a guest on the show tonight, but I do not. So I'll be going with 2 players separate. And now you can see we're on either side of the screen. One player can shoot and fire from here. And then player 2 jumps in. And this one is the competitive version because you can actually shoot each other. Which is very strange that we've seen this already at home. When we play the home computer or the console, the VCS, Atari already had this kind of game mode. But whenever Deluxe showed up, Deluxe didn't have this. You couldn't play simultaneous. And now they added it for the 3rd iteration, for Space Duel. And then the other game mode, you're tethered like we were before. And you're able to work together as a cooperative game mode. This is a blast. Another game that I could continue to play over and over again, which is a great trope of all video games. So I'll say, of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's around the range of one of the best games you could play. You could argue, just like Miss Pac-Man, that Miss Pac-Man is a formula we've seen before, and it could be long in the tooth and so forth. You could say the same for this one. Space Duel is very similar to Asteroids. We've seen the last Asteroids clones. It's already been done on the home computer and console with cooperative play before. But I'm going to give this one 5 stars because of all the games you could play in 1982, this one has the best sound, the color vector-based graphics, the 2-player game mode, and for all arcade games you could play, this one is giving you a lot more than the other arcades that we'll be seeing later as well. But up to this point, this is a 5-star game, definitely. Alright, so that means we reached the end of our video game night. Everyone push pause as we continue playing all the games released at some point in February 1982, possibly being finished with February by next episode. We will see. That's it for today, and like I always say, if you want to make an arcade game, you got to go with Atari. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.